Venture X card from Capital One gives you premium travel benefits, perfect for seeing Taylor Swift The Eras Tour. Presented by Capital One. Ooh, I do love her. Earn 5 times miles on flights and 10 times miles on hotels through Capital One Travel.
Enjoy your stay in Suite 13.
Whoa, 13? That's Taylor's lucky number. The Venture X card from Capital One. What's in your wallet?
Terms apply. See CapitalOne.com for details.
You're listening to Two Chunks and a Hunk. Movie musings for mostly everyone.
Welcome to Two Chunks and a Hunk. My name is Jordan Wonders, and this week I'm your chunk.
I'm Doge, and let's a chunk.
And I'm Carter, and that is but a taste of our hunky.
Very good.
That was a good King Penguin voice.
Kingwin.
Kingwin.
Kingwin. King Penguin.
With the lag on my computer, too, it was like you were a full beat after me. Like Penguin, and you were like, Kingwin. Oh, just beat me.
Just was so close.
Well, Carter, it sounds like the hunk. You want to talk about it?
Man, much like Mario journeyed to different universes, different kingdoms, I had a journey through different eras at the Eras Tour with Taylor. And
Tay-Tay?
She puts on a great show, y'all.
Yeah, I'm sure.
She puts on a really good show. It was so fun. One of my favorite things to do at big concerts like that. I did it at Harry Styles too, because I'm never going to be the 11, right? Like I'm probably not going to love an artist as much as someone else at a concert does, no matter who I love. There's always someone who goes a little bit higher. You get exposed to that. But just looking around at just everyone being so pumped about everything it was an absolute blast. Got to go with Chelsea and a friend. And yeah, she was really good.
Chelsea?
Yeah, Chelsea was great.
She behaved herself.
Good.
Yeah, she was good. But
perfect.
We were up in the nosebleeds, but we were happy to even be there. It was I had spent 5 hours in the dreaded Ticketmaster queue. And
I remember
you
talking about
I don't care anymore. It's 2 p.m. I need to shower. And yes, of course, I took the laptop with me into the bathroom. And it was then, as soon as conditioner was rubbed into my scalp, that I was able to buy tickets. And I bought them cold.
That's probably an Easter egg, though. If you think about it, she probably did that as an Easter egg for you. That the second you got conditioner, that's when the tickets were there.
Maybe that's what it was.
I bet that's what it was.
But it was great.
Well, that's good.
Loved it.
Very hunky of you.
Yeah. I was there.
I love listening to Taylor Swift. Probably my favorite. What are some of her good songs that we both love?
Taylor Swift?
Yep. What are some of her good songs we both love?
Taylor Swift.
She's both of our favorites, probably.
My favorite Taylor Swift song is Style.
Style. Yeah. I love that one too. Yeah.
Bad Blood is fun.
Bad Blood. I was about to say that. Yep. Man, what a talented singer.
She's a singer. Mm-hmm.
Yes, yeah. Obviously.
And boy, if you thought that was funny, you're going to love the rest of our show. So stick around.
What are we at ads?
What are we about to go to ads right now?
That took the energy of half the podcast, so I just assumed. I just assumed it was ad time. No, we're going to talk about a movie, a new release movie, a beautiful super movie. And I'm very excited about this movie.
What?
That's pretty good. I saw the wall jump in my head when that happened. That was great. I do want to play the Nintendo 64 version of the video game of this person very badly after watching this.
Dude.
Made me V nostalgic.
Specifically the 64? Would you settle for playing it on Switch?
Well, that's the 64 version.
Well,
I
didn't know if you were being a purist. And it was like, I'd like to play it with the the 3-armed controller rather than something comfy.
There's nothing I want to do less than play with a Nintendo 64 controller again.
I was just checking.
Ever.
I didn't know if you were a purist.
Ever. It's the worst controller.
So nostalgic, though.
It is. It's super nostalgic. But have you touched an N64 controller in a while and felt how loose that joystick is?
Yeah. And it's
been a minute.
It wasn't loose until maybe 2 days after play. So
Yeah.
you had a moment but then it's bad.
It's my entire childhood, but it's bad.
Apathetic at a certain point.
Yeah.
Like, I don't really.
We'll go this way. Okay.
I tried.
Fine. Oh, okay.
We should talk about the movie, though, huh?
Say it then.
Mm-hmm.
The movie that we're talking about today is a movie that is, of course, known as the Super Mario Brothers movie. I wish that it wasn't called this.
What do you wish it was called?
Either just the Super Mario movie or Super Mario. I don't know. To me, it's so clunky and weird to call it the Super Mario Bros. Movie.
It is a bit clunky.
It's just because Bob Hoskins is sitting on on Super Mario Bros. Is the name of a movie.
Right, but this is a movie that is 80% about Mario. So just call it the Super Mario, just call it the Super Mario movie or Super Mario. I don't know. It feels weird. Josh, give me a synopsis so we can talk about it.
You snuck that one up on me. I didn't have time to get my phone out and pull up.
Yeah, this is a new thing we're trying.
This week's IMDb synopsis is anonymous. So big thanks to the International Hacker Group for stopping their either good or very bad work to write this. A Brooklyn plumber named Mario travels through the Mushroom Kingdom with a princess named Peach and an anthropomorphic mushroom named Toad to find Mario's brother Luigi and to save the world from a ruthless, fire-breathing Koopa named Bowser.
Simple.
Clean, beautiful. We'll keep it spoiler-free in this first little bit so that if you're trying to decide if you should see this movie, you can make that call without having the movie spoiled for you. And I think that's a good place to start. Just blanket. Would you recommend this movie, and who would you recommend it to?
I would recommend this movie to anyone who's ever played a Mario. I think there is much of this movie that would be completely unparsable to somebody who has not played a Mario. There's so much that it's just like, what is happening? But if you have played a Mario, I think you probably are going to have a pretty good time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I completely agree. I think that this movie is for kids and people who like Mario already. And not just like I am aware of Mario, but like if you've played Mario, whatever the length of time it takes to like understand sort of the vibe of something.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And sort of the silliness. Particularly, it's weird. This movie has a lot of the aesthetics of classic Mario tied into it, but has a lot of the sort of like ethos of newer Mario games like Galaxy and Odyssey, where it's a little more silly, which is, by the way, I think the direction they should head. Yeah.
Yes.
I think it's better when Mario is super aware of how goofy its world is. And so if you're into that, I actually think ignore what the critics have been saying about this movie.
I agree with that.
It's so silly. This is the kind of thing already that I'm starting to feel like there's a touch of a formula that is, hey, if there's something that's going to be heavy nostalgia, like, hey, a lot of our IP is going to have to be to reference previous IP. It's always, audience score is almost always so much higher. The audience score for this is in the 90s to mid 90s the last time I saw. Yeah. Like 96% or something. That's what you need to do. Yeah. Critics are baffling on Rotten Tomatoes.
Yeah.
But yeah, it is. What did they expect? That's what I just want to ask.
I think that's it too, is like there is so little that's movie worthy about Mario as a franchise.
Right.
Like Mario is a franchise in a world that's designed to be played.
There's no story. Mario's
it's
story
designed
just
for
doesn't
like
exist unless it's
immediate feedback versus like let me think about this and go, ooh, that's fulfilling. Like it is all immediacy. And so like I feel like every critic that's like the story's kind of weak, but the world is cool. Like, yeah, that's Mario.
That's Mario. You just described Mario.
That's how Mario is. And spoilers, that's how Zelda is too. That's every big like Nintendo video game IP is like The story is a distinct second place to just the vibe of it.
I think that's how Breath of the Wild is. I think older Zelda story takes front and center quite a bit.
I do think there is quite a bit of weirdness to the story of Zelda that would make it tough to translate to a movie. That I think.
Yeah, no, Illumination should keep their meaty little paws as far away from Zelda as humanly possible. It would not work like this at all.
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw this with a friend, and the first thing I said when we were done was like, because I, in my opinion, saw something that was attractive to me. In my mind, I was like, I'm going to, until I see otherwise, continue to see movies in this world. This is a blast.
Yeah.
That's kind of how I felt after seeing Sonic, and we can compare those in a little bit. But
yeah,
I said the worst thing that this Nintendo movie company could do is have Link live in this world.
Yes, correct.
We don't need a 3D animated. I don't think we need.
I don't want a Zelda movie.
I don't want a Zelda movie at all. Yeah.
Regardless, as much as it would be like, hey, a Smash Brothers movie in the future could be fun, but it's like
building up to a team up.
But it's be careful. Like you can't just throw. And I don't think they will. Nintendo.
I
think
they're super protective of their IPs.
Yeah.
Like there's no way. I think a lesser studio would see the success of this because this is going to be a huge box office success.
Yeah.
Particularly like worldwide. I think in Japan it's going to do super dollars.
Yeah.
But I think a worse company would be like, okay, great. That means in 2026, Illumination's releasing a Zelda and a Metroid movie. It's like, well, I don't know.
Right.
I don't know that that's the way to go. And I don't think they will.
There is, I will say, if you are familiar with Illumination's work, if you've seen some Illumination movies and you don't like Illumination movies, then you won't like this. This is, to a T, the Illumination formula with Mario's world and characters dropped in. Like, there is no deviation from what Illumination has done in the past whatsoever. That being said, if you like Illumination and what works about them, then, this movie is genuinely funny.
Yeah.
Like, I laughed out loud.
Yeah. It's
a
legit
whole
funny.
bunch of times.
Same.
Particularly Keegan-Michael Key as Toad is a real standout in the cast to me.
Sure.
Which I feel like given this cast, maybe him or Jack Black would be the funniest person.
For sure.
Like as a dude. So
yeah.
For sure. It is well cast for the most part. It is
for the most part, it's well
for the most part, it's well cast. We'll save those conversations for the spoiler filled part of the episode. But it is genuinely funny. I laughed out loud a bunch of times through this movie. It is gorgeous to look at, dude.
It's so pretty.
It's really beautifully animated.
And it is filled to the brim with Easter eggs. Like, almost every frame has something from Nintendo or Mario history to look at and find, and it's really, really fun to watch. I sat next to two, I would guess they were like 8 and 7, two little kids whose parents sat behind them because there were no more spaces in the row. And the kids were, for kids, especially for their age, they were super well behaved. They kind of chattered through the whole movie, but their chatter was exactly what was happening in my brain anyway. Like the kids were like, it was things like, oh, there's a red shell. Oh, he's going to throw a banana. Oh, it's Rainbow Road. Oh, it's King Bomb. Oh, there's King whatever, all those different things. And it's hard to be mad when in my brain, I'm like, oh, dude, it's a red shell. Oh, dude, it's King Bomb. Oh, dude, there's King. They're just saying it out loud to each other. So, can't be too mad about it. I will say the kid shook his icy about 5,000 times. I almost knocked it clean across
just
the theater.
In disdain.
Yes.
Like a fist.
Yeah.
As I was watching this movie, we certainly have had tastes of video game becoming movie. We had a whole series about this. So it feels like modern day, there's 3 different kinds of video game movies. There's
Break it down
Rampage.
For me. Yep.
There's Rampage.
Yep.
Let's get a top 5 famous actor, well-known, world-renowned, and just try and make money, and we can do whatever we want because no one cares. Like Rampage had no story outside of monsters trying to punch buildings. And those feel the most B movie of any iteration.
Yeah. Yeah.
Then we have video game character plucked and put into real world, which is like Sonic, right?
Yeah.
And we can pull that off. Sonic has
I would even
a lot
argue
to
Detective
its world.
Pikachu might fit more in that category.
Yeah. Sonic probably had as much as Mario, to be honest, in terms of just the simple, like, here is an ally, here is a villain. Here are the little minions that we fight. Here is the world. Here is the soundtrack.
Yeah.
But I think a formula that I'm liking even more, and I'm so glad that that's what they did with Super Mario Brothers, is like, it's just going to be nostalgia rich. It's not about the interaction between them and someone outside of their world. It's really not. We get some characters that I had never heard of before, particularly in Brooklyn. But outside of that, it's just meant to be. And then to come to the end of this movie and see how many cards are still held very close to the chest.
Yeah.
In terms of characters, felt pretty wise. And I'm not trying to spoil there, but I was glad it wasn't full of anything we've ever known about Mario. Which, to be honest, in 94 minutes, you can't really do anyways. Right. But there was this recognition as to how nostalgic the Super Mario franchise is to me. Like, there's just so much and so much to do in this sandbox. And it felt, for the most part, pretty wise. I felt it felt pretty conservative even in a movie that was absolutely bonkers. But
totally.
I would actually argue, because I think I agree. I feel that restraint in making this movie, which to me does feel like a deviation from the Illumination formula, because I feel like Illumination is characterized by a lack of restraint, which is just like everything is at all times a 20 out of 10. And I don't know. And maybe that's Nintendo's mediating influence.
That's not Illumination to me, but I hear what you're saying. Like, I think of things absolutely get the point you're making.
Think of things like Sing, and think of things like the fact that there's a billion minions in every Minions movie, and just like, I don't know. I do hate Minions, so maybe I'm just blaming Illumination for unleashing my great enemy on the
movie. I'd walk out.
I'd walk out. I would immediately give it a God Hath Forsaken Us. I would not recommend it to anybody. I would say all Illumination is trying to do is print money. Yep.
See, to me, the Illumination formula is inch deep, mile wide, super funny, and colorful. Like, that is there's one other important ingredient of the Illumination formula that I'll save for the back half discussion. But to me, that is the Illumination.
Is it celebrity voice actors?
No, but that is. Well, there's an interesting discussion to be had there. We'll talk about it. But I think Illumination is junk food.
Yeah, totally. Totally.
But it's fun junk food. So I'm usually down. Like, I think the Illumination Grinch is really fun and special, but does it hold a candle to any other iteration of the Grinch? No. It's its own thing that just feels
gummy
sort of
worms
like
movies.
Yeah. It's not there is no depth in Illumination, and I think it's because they are really making these movies for kids. It's not the Pixar thing where it's like, this movie is for everybody and kids will like it too. Illumination is making kids movies with jokes for adults.
Yeah.
And it works. And because of that, because Illumination fills every frame with so much to look at, the rewatchability of Illumination movies is pretty high.
Oh, I would love to rewatch this.
Yeah. I would as well. And I think that's the main takeaway here before we go to a little early shout announcement so we can have some more discussion time in the back. I think if you like Mario, go see this. It's
Yeah.
Whatever you have heard that it is, I'll speak for myself. I had heard a lot of pretty negative things about this movie, and I just disagree. I think it's a totally passable time. I think it's great. It's fun.
It's super fun. If this is going to be your introduction to Mario, good luck. It is impossible to understand. But if you already have some familiarity with Mario, beyond just like, I know what he looks like and that he shoots fire from his hands in Smash Bros., go see it.
Now, if you have a kid that doesn't know Mario, let him watch it. Who cares? It's fun.
If you have a kid that doesn't know Mario, do you deserve that kid?
What are you doing?
You need to be a better parent.
I agree.
Spoken as somebody with no children.
I show my cat Mario every day, though.
My dog Bear, the only English word he knows is Mario.
The only English word.
It's multi-use. Let's head to shout announcements. We'll come back with some spoiler-filled discussion. Welcome to shout announcements, the part of the show where we give shout-outs and make
Charlie Day?
announcements.
It did sound like him.
In this particular shout announcements, I'd like to give a shout out to the Mushroom Kingdom, the land from which Mario doth hail.
We got a lot of listeners over there. We're climbing the Mushroom Kingdom charts.
Yeah, we're number 2 in the Mushroom Kingdom. So still looking
number 1 is?
How did this get made?
Seth Rogen experience.
The Seth Rogen experience? That's incredible. That's a good joke for this
Joe
movie.
Rogan.
But that's a good joke for this movie.
It's a better joke. Yeah.
That's a better joke for this movie because he's Donkey Kong, Carter.
He's Donkey Kong, and I bet he likes mushrooms.
I bet he does like mushrooms.
He does like mushrooms.
I bet he does like mushrooms. I bet if he had a podcast, it would be good.
Yep. I have an announcement here during this shout announcement period.
Finally.
We, for maybe a couple weeks ago, had announced that we're going to do Patreon episode hot off of Creed 3. We're going to review Creed 3. There has been, you might not even have to be super connected to the movie scene to know that there's been quite a bit of controversy around our big antagonist in the Creed 3 film, Jonathan Abrams' character.
Nope.
Jonathan Majors.
Who is Jonathan Abrams?
What? I want to look up
Jonathan
Abrams.
hard. That one's
J's.
not
That's
even
not
hard.
anything. That's not even a person.
Jonathan Majors.
Your brain didn't say. Your brain didn't
there's
say.
a Jonathan Isaac. There's a
No.
Jonathan. There's
No.
a J.J. Abrams.
Jason Isaacs. Your brain didn't even say, let me grab this one instead of this one. Your brain said, Jonathan Majors, don't need it. Let's make something new. Jonathan Abrams. That's who it is.
Make me a riddle or something to remember that. Saoirse, like inertia, has changed my life.
You don't
That's
need
true.
to remember his name anymore.
Yeah, that's it.
That's the point. That's why I've done this whole bit for us. That's why. Thank you
this
guys
was
for
the
playing
plan.
along.
This
I
is
knew
the
this would
plan.
happen. There's just been, too much controversy to even touch with a 33.5-foot pole. So we're not going to do that. What we would like to do is the very non-controversial Dungeons and Dragons, which has held some critical acclaim. It's especially close to my heart as a player, and I think that would just be a fun thing. So we're going to do a switch there.
Yes.
So be on the lookout for a Patreon episode.
A sweet
Patreon episode.
A bonus episode that's available to you.
Doing a Dungeons and Dragons.
It's available to you
Honor
whether
Among
you support us at either the $3 or the $5 tier on Patreon. $3 tier gets you those bonus episodes, and $5 gets you access to our Discord as well, where you may freely criticize Jordan for being contradictory in Spring Delirium.
I would like to lovingly, with all the love in my heart, nominate Carter for worst shout announcement segment of all time.
Yeah, that was tough.
Oh my gosh. This makes so much sense. So there's a show called Hard Knocks that follows NFL off-season. A season that I've watched had a young rookie safety named Jonathan Abram.
Okay,
So I
you know what?
think
That makes a lot of
Sports
sense because
Brain-
normally you're so good with names. It was weird
I was
that
trying
you
to figure
messed
out why
one
this
up.
was the
No,
one.
I
time you
just
messed one
wanted an
up.
actual excuse. I didn't want the Abrams to come out of nowhere. And here it is.
Is there
It's
also a football
Jonathan
player named
Abrams.
Jonathan Isaacs on that?
Stop. And then there's Oscar Abrams from Dune. It's all so confusing.
There's you may be thinking of Father Abrams, who had many sons, and many sons had Father Abrams.
Can we go back to the show?
Doge has to announce the next movie.
Oh, I didn't know I was doing that.
I thought you said that at the beginning.
Next week, we'd like you to join us as we travel down the road to El Dorado.
Thanks for joining us for
I
our
did it.
first podcast ever. Back to the show.
Wireless headphones. That'll be $200.
I'll use my Capital One Quicksilver card.
Now that's a hit. You used the Capital One Quicksilver card, which makes you the hero of every purchase. With Quicksilver, you earn unlimited 1.5% cash back on every purchase everywhere.
I wanted running music, but unlimited 1.5% cash back is pretty heroic.
Good instincts. Every hero needs a theme song. The Capital One Quicksilver card. What's in your wallet?
Terms apply. See CapitalOne.com for details.
Wow. Catastrophic energy.
Where's the power up when you need one?
Just
Can I super pump? Can I
waiting to
can I
start
super
until you
pump?
correct.
Can I super
Waiting
pump?
to start until you correct your energy. That's all I'm doing.
Can I super pump?
Yes, please.
With his second grade teacher, Mr. Wonders.
Air bubbles in the mouth, please.
Air bubbles, y'all.
This movie does, I believe, what the Bob Hoskins and Johnny Legs one tried to do. But it does it.
I don't.
It does it perfectly. This movie gives a unified cosmology to the Super Mario Bros. World, which is wonderful. I think this movie does a very great job reconciling the totally disparate elements of like Luigi has a haunted house in this one. There's big monkeys in the jungle in this one. They like go-karts, of the just like random stuff in Mario that really feels like kind of just, we'll put our characters in this game. We'll put our characters in this game. We'll put our characters in this game. And it turns it all into a world that, at least on the surface, makes sense with each other. And everything feels like a part of the same world and presents a unified, like, I don't know. It does explaining that I think nobody was really asking for, but it works for me.
Yeah, this had to be so tough. I think there's a reason why our only attempt at a Super Mario Brothers was just the big flail that was Hoskins and Johnny Legs. It's like, outside of that, there really hasn't been anything that I know of. And then for it to finally come after the fact, you would think with such a massive IP and a massive collection of things and characters that you could use, this would have been one of the first, that it would have come before Sonic, that would have come before the random shots at different things. And so, it did feel like that had to be one of the more thoughtful elements. Again, we weren't asking for that, but it does feel like culture was kind of clamoring for a good Super Mario Brothers movie.
Right.
Maybe that's part of why there was what I would feel is unwarranted heat on this movie in general. Because what was it supposed to do? So that stands out to me too, Doge, in terms of,
because I've never
trying
once
to
wondered,
make some kind of connection, you know?
Totally. I've never once wondered, like, well, okay, Mario's a plumber, but why does he like go-karts so much?
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, but the movie does it like, that's how the gorillas get around in the Jungle Kingdom. Cool. Fine.
Sounds good.
That's great.
Yeah.
I'm in.
Yeah.
That's all you need.
Yeah, I think that's a really great point. I don't even know that I'm willing to give the credit to the Bob Hoskins, Johnny Legs version to say this is even what they were trying to do.
No, I don't think this is what they were trying to do. I think they were trying to explain what is it to be the world of Mario. What does the world of Mario mean? And so their answer was wrong, but they were at least trying to answer the question. And I think this movie answers that question in a really, really thoughtful and creative way.
No, I think that's totally valid. I think it's totally valid. Let's talk casting for a minute if we can.
Yeah.
I think, and this is maybe a strong statement, 10 out of 10 casting for every single person except for Christopher Pratt. It still does not work for me.
So Chris Pratt worked
fine for me.
Chris Pratt worked for me. My super dump is in casting, so I'm just going to do it all right now, and then I'm going to take the rest of the episode off. My super dump is Anya Taylor-Joy.
Oh,
I believe she had the flattest line reads. I think she was out voice acted by Christopher Pratt, which is a shock to me.
Gosh, you're so different from me. I was going to say wrong, but I
think she was pretty bad in this, actually. I don't know that I think Anya Taylor-Joy has much of a future in voice acting. And if I was Illumination, I would be looking to recast for the sequel. Like it was pretty rough for me, especially reading that they almost cast Emma Stone for that role. I feel like Emma Stone would have done a way better job. And that I was trying to think, like, ever since I got out of the movie yesterday, who would I cast instead? And it's, I mean, I don't know. I really, really do love Anya Taylor-Joy. I think she's fantastic. I just don't think that she was up to the task of voice acting, because you have to be kind of an 11 out of 10 when you're voice acting, because people can't see your face. And I don't know that she hit an 11 out of 10 for this in terms of like energy and animation. It was tough for me.
Yeah, I just don't know how. Yeah, I don't know how much energy Peach has. But yeah, I guess.
Well, sure, game Peach might not have energy, but I feel like character Peach in the movie had to have something.
So counter argument.
Okay.
She did great. And Chris Pratt is still the worst decision this movie has made.
He really didn't bother me.
I thought that he, A, sounded so much like Chris Pratt that I couldn't get past it. And B, was just sort of whatever the whole time to me. Like, he didn't really embody much Mario, which thankfully he actually doesn't have a ton of dialogue in the movie. He really doesn't say all that much, so it's not that big of a deal. But I don't know. It sort of felt like he played Mario as like a sad sack I don't know. It did not. Chris Pratt did not work for me. Not my super dump, but did not work for me. I think we can all agree that the best voice casting in the entire movie, bar none, is Jack Black as Bowser.
Yeah, he's wonderful.
It's wonderful. And they let him be Jack Black.
They did.
Yeah, that's why you do it. And here's the thing, Doge, it is so tough. I think what Anya Taylor-Joy was up against feels unfair.
Sure.
I do still think she was like an 8 or a 9 for me.
Agree.
And Chris was probably like a 7. He wasn't
5 for
bad.
me.
Yeah, I enjoyed that too. But yeah, Jack Black, to just let him be. This is the one character, this is the one real person that they let be very much their style.
Mm-hmm.
The moment that Bowser has a piano.
Yeah, that was it for me, dude.
And starts singing.
The brand of that piano is Ludwig von Koopa, by the way.
Yeah.
Which is one of
Jam
the
with
Koopa,
me. And then he's like,
So Jam with me, Kamek.
So good. In the Jam with me vein here. Was Jack Black anybody's super pump?
No.
Okay, so he's not mine either. It was close.
It was close for me.
It didn't feel like a cheap one. It felt like an alley-oop. And sometimes if there's any critic in me, it's because I want to be like unique and be something you haven't heard before, but it very likely was. It almost was Jack Black. I do want to super dump and super pump here.
Wow.
Ooh.
We're just knocking them all out.
The super dump is our musical balance. I don't think we needed, and I don't have the same kind of technical terms you guys do. We didn't need to have these heavy-fisted, like retro Guardians-like songs.
Carter, this is my super dump as well.
Oh, yeah. Like the needle drops.
We don't need that because my super pump is when we took the actual themes of Mario and just straight up movied them up. I thought that was so fun when they get the star and it's this so like in integrating actual Mario music. And the reason I even brought this up was Bowser being at the piano doing Jam with me. Like that's
great.
The sounds of Mario, I think, tend to be centrally the most nostalgic thing for me.
Yeah.
And so for them to do that, but then to throw in I can't even think of the songs.
Take On Me
they're all
was the
so
one that
generic.
stuck out.
Take On Me was the
so
worst
generic.
moment. It was that was the
Earth
bottom
is
of the
happening?
barrel. Is like why we are in Donkey Kong's world.
That's illumination.
Why?
That is illumination.
So that's the element that I'm talking about. The illumination formula is top 40 hits. Why, dude? They ruin Grinch with this. They ruin like their movies would be so much better if they would do original soundtracks. And Koji Kondo is in the credits for this movie.
Yeah.
He did all of this music originally. Why would you not let him do this? It's
Turn it down.
ridiculous.
If you want one, you can have one. Just throw one.
I would say if you want one
hero
keep holding out for a hero. Holding out for a hero while Mario's
No, that's
training.
ridiculous.
Keep
that should have been the Mario theme from the games way long ago,
keep
dude.
that. That's really fun.
No,
I thought it was fun.
It's Thunderstruck at the beginning of Mario Kart is the only needle drop that worked for me because it's so stupid and over the top. But Take On Me
was rough.
Was
really tough.
ridiculous.
No, because if you're going to have, they didn't need that extra thing because they have Jack Black.
Yes.
If you want the music that's original, like that if you want to add some flavor and just make it way more appealing to any age, just let Jack Black as a giant Koopa.
Yep.
We don't need that.
I
stuff.
adore the
super
modern
dump, super
Mario
pump is the music.
Yeah, I get that, dude. My super pump is not the same. My super dump is unequivocally the same. The needle drops suck.
Yeah.
The
Speaking
modern
of weird music stuff, Grant Kirkhope, who wrote the DK rap, is left out of the credits of this movie. Have you guys seen that?
No.
Like they've credited all of the songs, and it's like right at the same part of the credits that they're crediting Take On Me, Holding Out for a Hero, stuff like that. They even give Jack Black a credit for the song Peaches, which is the love ballad that he wrote. But then they wrote DK rap, and then instead of the name of him, they wrote From Donkey Kong 64 instead of Grant Kirkhope's name, which to me feels like we're trying to not pay Grant Kirkhope for this.
Yeah.
Which sucks, man. That's awful.
Yeah, what a missed opportunity, and I'll just
especially because that DK rap's amazing.
The DK rap is awesome. I was so happy that was in this.
So much good soundtrack to the Donkey Kong games. We should have just played with that.
Yeah,
and we didn't. We didn't. If we did, I missed it because there was I walked into a retro pub.
Yeah, Side note, have you guys heard that there's an open world Donkey Kong game coming to Nintendo Switch?
I heard that from you on our podcast last week.
Wait, really?
Yeah.
That's funny.
Oh, I didn't hear. I missed it.
That's funny. Very excited about it. The modern characterization of Bowser as less like egomaniacal villain and more egomaniacal narcissist who just is like, why wouldn't Peach want me? I'm amazing. And his white tux. And he's he has no confidence. He's like, does she like plumbers? Is she into?
Yeah.
I think that the Mario Odyssey take on Bowser, just basically being like, Mario, why would you ruin my beautiful wedding day? I hate you. You're such a jerk.
Yeah.
Let me have this. Is such a great movie characterization for Bowser. And I'm glad that's the direction that they went.
Same.
I don't want to miss saying Keegan-Michael Key, Charlie Day, Seth Rogen. Incredible casting.
Really, really
So I
great.
don't want to dunk on celebrity voice casting because they're amazing choices for this.
Yeah. Yeah, there is there's such a danger, it feels like, with the fever dream that is Mario canon.
Yeah.
You can do whatever you want with it. So being so smart about creating Bowser this way and having that lean into who Jack Black can be, almost my super pump was that they decided to make, and Jordan, you might have called this months ago, they decided to make DK's laugh, which is already, like, that was a joke in my friend group to be like, do your best Donkey Kong impersonation. Because all we had of him was some weird, like a weird, can't even replicate it. And they just chose to have it be someone in real life's iconic laugh.
Yeah,
we turned DK's laugh into Seth Rogen's laugh.
It's great.
It was perfect.
Yeah.
It was
DK
so smart to do things like that. So that's why soundtrack stood out like a sore thumb when it wasn't working. Because it's like, wow, we're being so wise.
Yeah.
About navigating this crazy, crazy world most of the time. And then when we don't, it's so silly. It makes no sense.
DK and Bowser in particular, DK and Bowser in particular feel like they were written for those voice actors.
Agreed.
Mm-hmm.
Like it really feels like they were like, whatever we do, we've got to get Jack Black to be Bowser in this.
I think if we can get more, there was not much Luigi in this movie.
Yes.
Charlie Day does feel,
Charlie Day.
and as in terms of like just being anxiety ridden and loving his brother so much, it's like, okay, that's perfect, but we just didn't get a lot of it.
I assume that this opens the door. Actually, you know what? I'm confident. We will get like a Luigi's Mansion movie. I think we'll probably end
You said
up
you
with,
missed more. We'll get more Diddy, dude. Promise.
Yeah, we'll get a Donkey
guaranteed,
Kong movie with Diddy and Lanky Kong and Cranky Kong and all those people. And I'm sure we'll get all that stuff. But I think that like a Luigi's Mansion movie, bring in Professor E. Gadd and let him make Flood, do a Super Mario Sunshine movie, let him find Cappy, do a Mario Odyssey movie. Like this is a bottomless pit here.
That's the thing. I mean, they're going to make 1 million of these.
Yes. Yeah. I'm going to super pump. And then I think we're all pumped and dumped out. Once I super pump, can we just take the last few minutes here and just sort of nerd out for a little bit? Because this movie begs for that, I think.
We're not very nerdy, like as far as guys go, but yeah, we can try.
I know.
Give it a shot.
My super pump for this movie is the visuals. It is.
Yeah.
This
so
movie
pretty.
is a treat for the eyes.
Dude,
and
every frame of it looks like it could be box art for Super Mario Odyssey or Galaxy.
Yep.
Like they have
Completely agree.
nailed that style.
I thought
This
the Mushroom
made me
Kingdom was
want-
amazing.
Yep.
I'm ready for like having Nintendo just bite the bullet and get the Unreal Engine or something for the next.
I know.
Like, let's just go ahead and can I play in this world? Can I play in this world, please?
Give me 4K 60 frames per second Mario.
Please.
Yeah. Okay.
be
That's
so
that's my super.
They would have to
pump.
really
It's
work
just-
on the hitboxes if they do that, though.
Yeah,
To make it super precise combat.
It's just it's so good to look at. It's a total pleasure to look at this movie. I think it's so
Completely.
bright and colorful and pretty.
The
and
Rainbow Road.
Rainbow Road was amazing.
When it breaks, when
Yeah.
it crashes into the Rainbow Road.
And they're in the
like
ocean.
pieces of the, floating around.
Let's nerd out, and I'm going to start there. When he hit the water, I said to Callie, I leaned over to Callie and I said, "There's an eel. There's for sure an eel."
Yep.
The actual terror that I felt as a kid came
Yes,
back
dude.
on the big
Yes.
screen. And I was like, no. And there he was.
That eel,
that is my
Dire
Jaws.
Dire Docks, is the exact reason I hate water levels in video games to this day.
Yeah, no thanks.
Terrifying, very
That's
scary.
the first
in person.
anxiety I ever had in a video game.
Yeah.
Yikes.
Yeah, I thought that. Okay, so there is the Jumpman arcade cabinet, which Jumpman is what Mario was originally known as in Japan.
And then even his fight with Donkey Kong, where Donkey Kong's throwing barrels down on him on those red construction beams.
Yeah. I feel like we could do an entire hour-long discussion about everything in Mushroom Kingdom
Just all
that
the
was
Easter
like
eggs.
Easter eggy. But there was the hat store from Odyssey, the antique booth with all of the old like Mario props in it,
Like
was
pixelated
so
stuff.
much fun. I loved people. I guess their job was punching the blocks to get coins. I assume.
Yeah. In the antique shop, did you hear the antique shop owner saying like you'll just blow on it, like
It'll work again.
Oh, I missed
it'll work
that.
again if you just blow on it.
Yeah.
Which is just so classically
That's
like the
funny,
cartridge.
dude.
Yep.
Was the
Just
guy
obvious awareness.
the guy in the restaurant that talked to Mario and said his voice wasn't weird? Was that Charles Martinet?
It was. Yeah.
Okay, I thought so.
Yeah.
I thought so.
Yeah,
Which is
and then
great.
the pictures that we had in the dining, I think Little Mac up there. Like there were photos from Punch Out and
Yeah,
stuff,
there was
right?
a Punch Out pizzeria that had Little Mac in there. I read in the trivia that there was an R-Wing from Star Fox in Mario's room, but I didn't see
he
it.
has it hanging in his room.
I
Yep.
didn't see it.
Star Fox. I would be fine in this universe.
Star Fox would be great like this.
I agree.
Don't mind this. Don't mind this. Even if there's a crossover, don't care. Super Smash Brothers allowed the Nintendo world to do whatever they want crossover wise.
Yeah.
It's just please keep Zelda out of it. A big fun thing for me was when the blue shell reveal, right? You kind of already assumed that he was going to be a menace on the track, and then he just straight up becomes the blue shell.
Yeah.
Yes.
So fun. The first time that we even had, I'm a huge Mario Kart fan. So the first time that we even had somebody have their glider on that, like the way that they navigated that, we had legitimate fun stunts.
Yeah.
Peach was great. Like I loved her.
I have seen critics like read write-ups of them specifically calling out the Mario Kart sequence as like this is over the top and like why would you do this in the middle of your movie? It was almost my super.
What do you mean?
I don't want a movie of Mario Kart, but that was so cool. It was awesome.
I was kind of like, it's funny. Anya Taylor-Joy on her media junket has talked a little bit about the culture shock of racing in Furiosa and then voicing Peach on Rainbow Road.
That's really
And there
funny.
was a day that she did both.
That's really
that
funny.
she got into the sound booth for that scene after they had a really epic scene with the crew with Furiosa, and I thought that was
really
It's
funny.
pretty amazing. There were so many great Mario enemies and iconic Mario enemies. The wedding scene, I feel like you could probably pause every 2 seconds and just point 100 things out.
delicious.
King Bob-omb, the first boss from Mario 64, is in the front row and gets exploded. King Boo from Luigi's Mansion is there. Some of the gifts were pretty iconic things. We have Bob-ombs and Goombas and Dry Bones and Lakitus and Shy Guys.
Our prison was funny. Everybody that was in the prison.
Prison was wonderful.
Is the blue star, is that from Mario Galaxy?
Yeah.
Okay,
Isn't
those
that
are the only
Rosalina's?
Mario games I haven't played.
You haven't played Mario Galaxy?
Mm-mm.
Do you have it, right? You got the Super Mario All-Stars collection, right?
I have it. I just, because I didn't get a Wii until college and we only had Smash. So I didn't touch a lot of the like Wii era.
Mario
Nintendo
Galaxy is
main
fun.
games.
Mario Galaxy
Yeah,
is
I need to
super
play it.
fun. You
I need to
should.
play
It's
it.
super duper fun.
I think that this opens up so much. Dude, give me a movie where Mario has to like play in a cross sports tournament for like the fate of the world. Make him play around a golf, tennis, baseball,
Or Mario Party.
soccer. Yeah, make him play some weird Mario. Like, do everything with this.
I think like there is almost my super pump was just choosing not to just go full tilt on all these characters because there's so many. There's no Wario, no Waluigi
That's
yet,
for sure.
no Daisy, no Rosalina.
So how would you
This
guys
is all
feel
wonderful.
if we did like 3 of these theatrical movies and then it was like, because I could see them going like a couple theatrical movies, but honestly, since Universal distributed this, I think that they might be, it wouldn't surprise me if they did a Peacock exclusive animated series that was just like, we may not be able to do a whole movie out of Mario Party, but this week it's the Olympics in Mushroom Kingdom and their Olympics is Mario Party.
If
And
the
that's this week's-
quality is up to this level visually and they keep the same cast, I would be all for
I mean,
it.
they wouldn't keep the same cast for sure.
Well, then no,
these
don't
folks
touch
would
it.
not do an animated
Then
series.
do not touch it. I think they might. Prestige TV is just as big as movies at this point.
but there's no such thing as prestige animated TV.
I mean, Invincible.
Sure, but that's like a limited run. Like I think if they did this, it would be of the quality of like the
How to
Goof
Train Your
Troop or
Dragon
something.
show and stuff
The
like
How to
that.
Train Your Dragon
No,
show, like
don't touch it,
DuckTales,
Ken.
like
Yeah.
the stuff that came out that was based on a movie, when we were kids. That
Yeah.
like, hey, you loved Jungle Book, here's Tailspin.
Oh man, I did love Tailspin though.
I'm about to go
Tailspin
through
does rule.
X-Men the animated series.
Oh, cool.
oh, fun.
Very excited for that. The post-credit scene, Yoshi's egg, wonderful.
Yeah,
Yep.
great.
Wonderful.
Yep.
How much do y'all want to be in Brooklyn anymore in these movies?
None.
Almost zero. Yeah.
None. And I bet we are.
I'm glad we weren't too heavy-handed there, but I was kind of like, I don't need to know their whole family. I was afraid we were just going to have too much dynamic with Mario and the crew. And that's fine. It was so funny. Like they clearly were like, at the end of the movie, they never say why, but it feels like Mario and Luigi are like, okay, we're going to live in Mushroom Kingdom now because Brooklyn sucks.
Yeah.
I don't think they're going to go back. And it's fine if we don't ever reference it again.
Well, that
Maybe they
Yoshi
talk
is
about
in
it.
the sewer of Brooklyn.
the Yoshi's
Not-
in Brooklyn.
That's the one thing.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
like he's in the sewer. And so I was a little bit bummed because now I bet in this sense, it feels like Wario and Waluigi also have to be from Brooklyn,
yeah.
right?
No, I bet they're creations. I bet they're like
Dr.
Wario and
Robotnik makes
Waluigi.
them in a lab.
Yeah, essentially. Yeah. That's my
No
guess.
way. I think you bring in Wario and Waluigi because their imposters are trying to capitalize on the success and the goodwill
Oh, that's fun,
of
too.
the Mario brothers in Brooklyn. But then they get like in over their heads trying to deal with this Yoshi. And so the real Mario and Luigi have to go back to Brooklyn to figure out how to deal with the Yoshi that
See,
hatches
I don't
underneath the
want them to
sewer.
go back to Brooklyn though.
They're gonna. They're for sure gonna.
They're going to have to for a little bit.
I don't care that Mario's dad isn't proud of him. You know what I mean? Like, who cares?
But then you had to have that so he could relate to Donkey Kong, whose dad isn't proud of him.
I mean, yeah,
Daddy
I
issues,
guess.
man. That's what I've always
Sort of feels
loved
like
about the Mario
creating a
universe in the
solution to
first
a
place.
problem, then creating the problem.
In the 1920s, people just sweat and stunk under their arms until deodorant companies were like, don't you agree you shouldn't be like that? Buy deodorant so you're not.
No. Don't nod your head like that makes sense, Carter. But connect that.
They're creating a problem and then saying, no, here's the solution.
No, stink existed.
He's got a point.
But it wasn't a problem for people.
Disagree.
They didn't have a problem with it at all.
I bet they did.
Back when I was a kid in the 1920s, we just stunk and we played outside and people didn't play their Nintendos and honestly didn't care about the Mario movies that were coming out then. And I think the world was better for it.
When I was a kid, nobody liked Mario. Do you think there's a real plumber named Mario
Gotta be.
anywhere
Must be.
in the
Must
whole
be.
world?
Must be.
Must
Do you think he capitalizes on that?
Yes.
Yeah.
Silly not to. Actually, in my mind, the actual Mario plumber is completely oblivious.
He just
That's
doesn't
Oblivious to
know.
the
better.
fact
I
that
think
there's
that's
a connection.
better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If he just doesn't know. It's time to rate this movie. And we're going to do that using the scientific cinema scale, which is perfect and as follows. The best thing we could ever say about a movie is own it, don't lend it. Buy that poster. The next best thing is buy it. That's followed by rent it and then stream it. After that is forget it. And last but certainly least, the worst thing we could ever say about a movie. God hath forsaken us. I am renting the Super Mario Bros. Movie. However, it's not a reflection on the Mario quality so much as the movie quality. I think that it's a good enough movie to rent and watch. I think it's great. If you have kids, own it because I want to watch it more often. I think this is the best Mario movie we are capable of receiving.
Until we as a species can really get some stuff under control, we don't deserve a better Mario than this.
I just don't think there's a lot of meat on the bone story-wise with
No,
Mario. And
no
so a
way.
Mario movie has to be spectacle and silly, which this was. And I think it nailed it. Honestly, my only real problem is the illumination of it all. The need to needle drop top 40s hits instead of just letting a movie be that movie. It's like
Do you
you
think
have to
there's a
connect it to
world-
the real world.
Do you think there's a world in which Nintendo does this without illumination?
For Mario?
You know what I mean? Yeah, like
No.
I'm not saying moving forward, but I'm saying like, is Nintendo capable of being like groundswell? We're gonna do our own animated thing, or do they have to partner with somebody?
Nintendo is so. I was actually just listening to a podcast about something similar, a discussion about Nintendo. Nintendo is so much smaller than I thought they were.
Really?
Their company is comparatively compared to Sony and Microsoft, like the two other sort of big hitters that make, because even within Nintendo, there is connections with the Pokemon Company, and then Zelda is sort of its own thing. Metroid, like Nintendo sort of harbors little dev studios that make their big heavy hitters. But like Nintendo's whole reason that they don't do a powerhouse console like a PS5 or an Xbox Series X or whatever is because they can't. I don't think they feel that they can pull it off.
Wow.
And so they are so small that I think the only option to get Nintendo movies is outsourcing. I don't think there's any chance of like an in-house, which is why my hopes are actually high for a Ghibli-style Zelda movie if that were to ever happen.
That would be perfect.
Whoa.
I think the only thing better than a Ghibli-style Zelda movie is no Zelda movie ever happening.
Yeah,
but if we have to have one,
Zelda.
let's do a good version like that. But no, I just don't think, and you know, the spirit of your question, they could have done it with somebody besides Illumination for sure.
Sure.
DreamWorks could have taken this
on their own.
No, I just don't think so.
Yeah.
Yeah. I rent it. I also rent this movie. And it's, I think a buy is reserved. It's hard to make a good animated movie. It's also hard to make a movie that's attached to any kind of iconic worldwide intellectual property.
Totally.
And this movie did enough that I would pay to see it again. You know, I think for me, these movies, and I'm sure hopefully we inherit seeing all these for the podcast, but I intend to see these in theaters. I would say this is a theater movie. There's not a ton of animated movies to me that are theater movies, but this one was so pretty, like Jordan said, with his super pump, that I think you should see this and experience this in the movie theater. But yeah, I rent it.
I'm going to rent it as well. I think that there is like, I've been thinking a lot about our scale lately. I think stream it, I would say it's worth your attention. Rent it, it's worth your money. If you buy it, that would probably be worth your repeated investment of time. And then if you buy the poster, it's worth your space in your home to put it up. I think the Super Mario Bros. Movie is absolutely worth your money. I think I would pay to see it again in a theater. I would pay to see it, once it comes to streaming.
Yeah.
But I don't think I would invest enough of my time in it to buy it.
Yeah.
I probably
Also,
will watch
thank
it
you
again when it comes out.
Oh, yeah.
I
Guaranteed we'll watch it again.
Literally, time is a big factor in that. This was a 90-minute movie.
Easy.
It doesn't ever need to,
Easy.
Any iteration of this never needs to be more than that.
Agreed.
It was
Please don't
so
get longer than
fresh
this.
to just be done.
Yeah.
It was so refreshing to get it done quickly and have that much fun. And here's the rest of my day. Like we go see things even like John Wick 4, and it's a completely different genre. And I'm so glad it was that long. But it's like I realized how used to 2.5 hours.
It's like an event.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We left
that's
Mario,
exactly what this is supposed to be.
and the sun was still out. I was like, "What's happening right now? It's still daylight outside." It was amazing. Yeah. So that's the Mario movie. You should definitely go see it if you're still on the fence.
real
if you listen
fun.
to the
Please
spoiler
go
part
see
just
it.
to see. Go see it. It's really, really fun.
It's another one of these that just don't even worry about the critics anymore. Please.
No.
Like don't, this has happened it's almost as egregious as Bullet Train was.
I was about to say, between this and Bullet Train. Yeah.
Yeah, go see Super Mario Bros.
Yeah, like what were you expecting when
movie.
you walked into the theater?
Honor among mushrooms.
Speaking of a really fun time, next week we're going to be talking about The Road to El Dorado, and I'm very pumped because I haven't seen that movie since my teacher was out sick junior year Spanish class in high school.
Dude, it might be
junior year.
It might be 20 years for me since I've seen this movie.
Really?
Very excited.
Really pumped about this. Can't wait to watch it. So tune in as we continue our Forgotten series with more animated
I think the last time I watched
features.
it, I rented the tape from Blockbuster and watched it on the TV in my bedroom that had a built-in VCR.
Amazing. Did you guys have those VHS rewinders that like speed rewound your movies?
Yeah, we were rich.
We had one of those,
one.
and it was like you push it in, and it's like spins up so fast to rewind the movie.
Yep.
Otherwise, you got to sit there and just hold the button like a moron.
Carter, did you hand crank it? Did you rewind by
Yeah,
hand?
our actual rewinder was broken. So
It's like an ice
stuck
cream
an expo
machine.
marker in there?
that's why I'm ambidextrous to this day. 'Cause I get 2 fingers in there.
I heard he could rewind 2 tapes at once.
Something like that.
It's amazing. To end today's episode, I'd like for each of us to say our name and what iconic Mario element, character, song, villain, enemy, baddie, prop, whatever, what iconic Mario element we'd love to see included in the next installment of the Super Mario series of movies, specifically. For Two Junks and a Hunk, I'm Jordan. Let's go to Isle Delfino, baby. Give me a tropical Mario, put flood in it. Just give me Mario Sunshine as a movie. I think it'd be great.
Mario. I could play Flood. Can I play Flood?
Please.
Mario, welcome to the sequel to your movie. The Super Mario Brothers 2, the movie.
That sounds
Pretty
so
good.
much like when you are trying to impersonate Jordan like as a nerd or something.
It's
Maybe
just as
Jordan,
fun.
maybe nerdy Jordan should play Flood.
I'd be thrilled. It'd be my honor.
If you actually read the original Stephen King novel,
Oh, yeah, that's definitely what you were using. You remember too. You guys. Alvin and Simon always getting at it. I can't not think of that anymore.
Isn't it true though? Isn't that perfect?
It
I had that
really is.
realization the other day.
It's pretty good.
Can we get merch?
Yeah.
Honestly?
Yeah, totally. Totally. We totally
Can you
need to
just
do
put
that.
big? Yeah, you could totally make us that.
Yeah. Keep it head to two
The chip chunks
Yeah.
or something.
The chunk monks.
Chunk monks.
Yeah, keep it on. We're going to make some merch of that for sure. I don't think Dave would sue us. We're probably fine.
Nah.
I'm Doge, and I don't recall seeing quite enough chain chomps for my taste in this movie.
Only one, I think.
I would like to see many more of them.
I want a big one, like 64.
A grande chain chomp.
Chin
Yeah.
Chompissimo.
That would be so fun. I love chain chomps.
Chain
chomp's scary. Also
Chain
anxiety.
chompissimo.
Chompissimo. I'm Carter, and I think Bowser's been working on something. Obviously, he's not going to say shrunk this entire time. No shrunks, no chunks, no hunks. He's going to get big again, and he's going to start creating another world in which they have to abide by his rules, and it's going to be a game board. And I think it's going to be revealed when we hear that woo, 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 like the spinning of the dice above, and you get like the shot up, and they have to punch to see how far they can go.
Yep.
It'd be so fun. So fun.
Honestly, what happened to Kamek the wizard?
Jail.
He got away.
My other answer, my secondary answer that I just thought of, Metal Mario, dude. That song from Mario 64, that bum, 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 I don't know, dude. Let him put on that metal hat, turn metal, sink underwater, punch an eel in the mouth. That'd be great.
The
As
Mario
soon as
Bros.
someone gets sick,
movie 2.
everybody's going to be looking at Mario.
Yeah.
Be like, when are you going to do this, bro? Put on that coat.
Put on the lab coat.
Dr. Mario, where are you?
Oh, man, there's so much fun stuff they could do.
There's a lot of Mario games, guys.
The Venture X card from Capital One gives you premium travel benefits, perfect for seeing Taylor Swift the Eras Tour. Presented by Capital One. Ooh, I do love her. Earn 5 times miles on flights and 10 times miles on hotels through Capital One Travel.
Enjoy your stay in Suite 13.
Whoa, 13? That's Taylor's lucky number. The Venture X card from Capital One. What's in your wallet?
Terms apply. See CapitalOne.com for details.